Hey guys, today I wanna watch this video from Hawg that it is called "It's Your Fault Diablo 4 Sucks, Brother." This title of course caught my attention and I wanted to watch it and see what it is about, you know, because I am a little bit out of the loops and I love Hawg's videos, they are great, so let's see what he has to say in here.
The Diablo 4 seasons are mediocre because of you.
Me personally, brother. Alright, let's see what happened here.
Yeah, that's right. Hawg said it. How about it, y'all? I don't know if y'all caught this interview. This is from Wowhead. This was with old Captain Malignant Tunnel here. Managing expectations is key to improving Diablo 4. Do y'all know what that word managing expectations means? That's a corporate word that they use to, well, when they used it on me, it was like, you're not going to get promoted. You're expecting too much. You think that too much is going to happen. You need to just stay where you are and be chill and relax. It's like a politically correct way of saying you need to chill.
So basically he said that we are expecting too much from Diablo 4. Oh yes, brother, I am expecting too much from one of the biggest franchises in video game history, from one of the biggest companies in video games history. A company that is going to be acquired by Microsoft themselves by $50 billion. Yes, brother, I am expecting way too much from you because I want the fucking game to have an end game, brother. Yes, my expectations are way too high that you can manage to do some bullshit like this. When a way smaller studio from New Zealand is making a 10 times better game, a game better than yours by 10 times with 100 of the size of your team, brother. Yes, my dude, my expectations are way too high, motherfucker. Sorry for that.
Manage expectation. So it's not that they released a lackluster game with no end game or feels incomplete or it's missing something.
It is that I am expecting way too much.
Your complaint is with the game. It's not that they didn't do anything right. It's that the players' expectations were too high. They didn't do a good enough job managing expectations, aka the players expected too much.
To be fair, there may be a disconnect by what we think is our expectations and what they think our expectations are. So if they think our expectations are, let's say that our expectations are here, but they think that our expectations are in here, and they say we can't make this, but they could make this one. Well, they think we can make these expectations, you are expecting way too much from us. So there's maybe a disconnect there, but then again, then they are not realizing what the players' expectations are, and that is part of their job. Let's be fair in here, that is part of the job, discerning what the player wants. So they don't even know what the player wants. Then how the fuck are you going to give the player what the player wants? And not even necessarily what the player wants, because this is part of game design. You don't always want to give the player what they want. You need to give the players what they need. But you are not giving us any of that because the game has no end game. There is nothing to do in the fucking game. And I don't think that wanting an end game, that wanting something to do in the game, that wanting to have fun in the game is too high of expectation, motherfucker. I don't think that wanting a search tab in the stash, and I know we are getting that in the second season, but let me say at launch at least, I don't think that is too high of expectations. Now if you tell me, oh, if you want 10 classes with a skill tree the size of Path of Exile, and you want, I don't know, 100 unique items per class, maybe that is too high of expectation. But asking for a complete endgame, or at least some activities to do in the endgame, that is not too high of expectations, brother. And if you can't discern the player's expectations, then you are failing at half of your job, and that conducts you to fail at the other half of your job, brother.
It's our fault, not their fault. It's not their fault that the players are mad, it's our fault. Well, maybe it is their fault, but it's only because they failed to manage the expectations of the players, even though they pumped us for months and months and months with a relentless assault of ads from KFC and Meg.
Brother, that is true. I hadn't thought about that. Maybe if we have too high of expectations, they had a part of blaming that. They are partly to blame because of that, because they hyped us off as a motherfucker for months. They were making us believe that Diablo 4 was going to be awesome. And that is part, and so then the marketing team did their job. They sold us the game. That is what they are there for. They sold us the game. They made us believe the game was going to be awesome. We bought the game, and now we are fucked. Brother, when I played the first two betas, I was hooked. It was insane because, yes, that is the good part of the game. Still today, the game is awesome from 1 to 50, from 1 to 60. You can go and play that again, like today. Create a new character, a new class that you haven't played, and you played from 1 to 50, and you are going to have a blast. So in the 25 level beta, of course, we were having fun, and we said, I am going to buy this shit. But there is no end game, brother. So the marketing team did their job, because they hyped us up and we bought the game, but then the other dudes fucked the game.
Megan Fox and this and that and Billie Eilish and all this other shit, and they're gonna sit here and tell us that they didn't manage expectations good enough? You blasted our expectations to the goddamn moon, Rod. Let's take a peek at this interview, see what he's got to say. I'm curious. Fergusson states, one of the things we recognized early on was that we had made some sort of mistake in managing expectations. It was hard because we felt like what we were doing for the game were the right things to do. Okay. I don't understand. Now diving into this, he's talking about, I guess, the patch, they didn't manage expectations on that.
Maybe the things you did were the right things, because if I think about what is in the game, I don't think there is nothing in the game that I wouldn't want it to be there. I like Hell Types, I like the Nightmare Dungeons, I like the bosses, I like the campaign, I like the overworld, I like everything, brother. The problem is that you need more stuff to do. Like leaderboards. Leaderboards would be awesome. Yes, they are planning leaderboards with an extra activity, and that is great. Maybe that will bring life to the game, but that should be there from the start, or delay the game, brother, or delay the game. So now we are in this state where the game is boring, and I don't think it is the fault of the player wanting to have something to do in there. So maybe, yes, they were doing the right things, but you needed to do more of the right things, brother.
Y'all, it all ties back to the tinfoil hat. It all ties back to the patches, Eternal Realm killing, and to push everybody over here. They don't have to worry about this. All they have to do now is just go on an interview and say we're sorry, say a couple of things. It'll never happen again. We made a mistake. They didn't make a mistake. This was all planned and executed to push us in front of the battle pass. We saw it even more when we started redeeming tokens.
Sometimes you think, oh, there is no way they do that. But other times you say they have to be doing that, Aside from all the stuff that Hawg himself has been putting forward to attest to this theory, you also have to think these are professionals, these are game developers. If we as players and not professionals in game development can identify problems, can think about something that would solve the problem, can think of what makes a good game, why wouldn't dudes that have 20 years of experience in the game industry know that? Wouldn't they know what the game needs? Wouldn't they know what would make the game great? What would make the game fun? They know, brother. They know how to make the best possible Diablo 4, brother. They just won't do it, or they can't because of management and budget and whatever, or they just don't want to do it because they think it won't be as profitable. Because you have to remember, sometimes we get confused because we think that what makes the game more profitable is making the game more fun. But sometimes this is not true, and this is because and this is why gacha games exist and stuff like that. Not always making the best possible game yields the best profit. So that is why they have overanalyzed game, and they have psychologists on the teams, and they have marketing teams, and they have executives on the teams, because they study this bullshit to know what will yield the most profit. And that is what they go for in big companies like this. They don't care so much about the game being good, they care about the game bringing the most profit. And sometimes what brings the most profit is not what the player wants. So maybe that is something that is happening in here, you know. They know what will make the game good, but they think it won't yield as much profit, so they don't do it. And they will wait to do it until they think, oh, we need to do it now because we are losing players, we need to bring them back. Do this. You know, maybe, again, tinfoil hat, as the Hawg himself says, but this is probably something that is happening in there, because I don't believe that these dudes that have been working in the industry for so long and are professionals don't know what the pay problems are for the player and don't know how to solve them. That is bullshit, brother.
Or y'all started redeeming tokens when you clicked on the seasonal journey without a confirmation screen. There's dirty practices hidden all over the place. This is just another gaslighting dirty tactic to basically blame the players and not blame Blizzard. Say it's not our fault. We didn't, well, kind of is our fault. We didn't manage the expectations, but the players' expectations were too high. It's also what that means when they manage your expectation. Your expectations are too high. You need to get them in check. And so that's what we're dealing with. We're dealing with a game manager, a franchise manager that is now telling the player base to keep your expectations in check.
And I will say it outright. I don't like Rod Fergusson, brother. I will say, maybe this is not right to say, but I don't like the dude. When I see him in interviews, what he says doesn't resonate with me. Yes, from time to time he says something cool, but what? 1 in 10 comments, brother. I don't think he should be the face of the game. I like much better Joseph Pepiora and the other dude, Joe Shelley. I like them much better, brother. The dude they brought to one of the interviews in the campfire that specializes in classes. I don't remember his name, but he's a long-haired dude. That is a cool dude too. It would be much better for them to be the faces of the game, but maybe they are not so used to talk with the player base. They are more of a back-end team, you know, so they need someone like Rod Fergusson to come forward. But I'll be honest, I don't know, the guy doesn't resonate with me, and I feel bad for that, because I try to like everybody, you know. I don't know if this is healthy, but I try to do it. As a Christian, I try to do it, brother. I have to try to like everybody, but I don't know. I don't like the dude, brother. What can I say? I know this doesn't have anything to do here. Well, it has something to do because this is an interview with him, you know.
And they say that they're going to improve the game. We realized it was an expectation management problem. We had to just own that and recognize we have to do better to get the patch notes out before that. Before the day of the patch is what they're referring to. We were doing patch notes at the moment the patch dropped. It's true that Blizzard was developing patch notes with rapid cadence the weeks after Diablo 4 first launched. So keeping the player base less informed as to what to expect. Nowhere in this interview does it say we're going to make the game better by improving our creativity or by delivering some better thing. Nowhere. It just says manage expectation.
This is what zero accountability looks like, brother.
going forward at least, Fergusson acknowledges that the biggest thing for us was to just really like, hey, we have to manage expectations correctly. And we're going to do better, and we're just going to keep making a better game.
Well, here he says that he's going to keep making a better game, brother. But one of the ways you make a game better is understanding the players' expectations and meeting them to some degree, you know, or giving the player what they need, even if they don't know what they need, because that is the game designer's job, you know, to discern the players' need and meet them.
Keep making a better game. You acknowledge what it is that the players don't like about the current game.
Exactly,
and
exactly. Exactly, 100%.
We've seen that from many developers in the past where, you know, there's a revolt or whatever the problem is. Developers will address that and then fix it. We haven't seen that.
Well, we saw it with the first patch for this new season where there was the big, oh, this is the worst patch in video game history, and they had to do an emergency campfire and they took the changes back. So it wasn't like they made the game better. It was that they made the game worse, so worse that they had to take that back to a normal state. But you could say that it was making the game better after the drop, you know.
We get as an apology tour and them saying for us to basically keep our feet on the ground and manage our expectations. Even though the game was extremely overhyped and all of this.
And expensive. You have to remember the game is expensive. And well, what they have announced for season 2, it looks like an improvement. Of course, this is probably going to make the game better, but we still don't know much. And yes, it will be a better game, but we still don't know if it will be the game that we want or that we expect. It may be still not be enough. If there is no end game, then season 2 is going to be boring as well, and people are going to drop it after a week again. Maybe with the introduction of leaderboards and a new activity, season 3 will turn things around. But if they don't introduce a new activity, a new tier, something to do in the end game, people are going to drop the second season 2. The end game bosses might be they are a push in the right direction, but I don't know if they will be enough. But they will be they will be good enough to prolong it a little bit better than the first season. And the game is expensive, brother. I live in Latin America, brother. A $70 game, brother, and I bought the bullshit to be able to play it 4 days earlier. And I regret it. I am an idiot. I don't know why the fuck I did it. I said, oh, I am going to create content about the game. I am going to buy this shit. Not worth it at all. I am an idiot, but whatever. You can do a lot of shit with that money here in Latin America. So some people say, I got my money's worth with the $70 that I paid for Diablo 4 in terms of living in the USA and in Europe or whatever. Yes, you got it. But for me, to justify to myself spending that money on a game, I have to pump it out on that game, you know, because over here we don't value the game at $1 an hour or something like that. That's the example some other people say. You have to do it even more than that, you know. So I would say that it was worth it in terms of I have enjoyed the game. I still have the game. If the seasons improve, I can come back to the game because I already own it. So fine. But at the same time, it is a disappointment. It is a disappointment because, brother, I spent something that is a month of rent over here, like $90 is a month of rent or a month of food, and I spent it on this game, and it is a disappointment because there is no end game, you know. So when you charge $70, why am I saying all of this? What is the point? The point is this. When you charge $70 or $90 for a game with the early access, people have an expectation on that game because you are charging a lot of money when you can go and play something like Path of Exile for free or Last Epoch for, I don't know, Last Epoch is what? $20, $10, $15. So there is a big difference, so you expect a big jump in quality. And that didn't happen. So you set the price, you set the expectation too.
Oh no, I'm not gonna beat that dead horse. We all know what that was like. And here we are with Ashes, a burn up Insta product that even their own numbers say that people got rid of pretty quick. And here we are. Pretty disappointing. It really kills any kind of hopes. Not that I really had much at all, but it kills any kind of hopes that I had for this game being amazing. It just ain't. It's gonna be mediocre.
I still have hope that the game will improve because they are taking steps in the right direction with what they are bringing for season 2. And if the new activity they are bringing for leaderboards is a good activity, it is also a step in the right direction. Now, if that activity sucks, my hope for the game will drop dramatically. But I am still on Copium, and I still think the game can be good because the base game is good. That's why I think the game at some point will manage to be good, because the base game is good. I have said it before and I will say it again. There is no other RPG on the market with a movement like Diablo 4, with a combat like Diablo 4, with a game engine like Diablo 4, with even a graphics engine like Diablo 4. The base game, Diablo 4 is the best ARPG out there in terms of the base game. The problem is everything that is on top of that is the worst, you know. But if they improve the end game, the dungeons, the bosses, the skills, the itemization, yes, I know it is a lot, it can become the best one because the base game is good, and that is the hardest to change, you know. So they have the hardest part nailed down. They just have to adjust their philosophy for the other stuff, and over time I believe the game can be good. Of course, maybe they manage to do it when everybody doesn't give a fuck anymore, and then you have a 5% of the original player base. So they need to do something about it, you know, and not wait until the second expansion to do all this shit.
That's fine. It is what it is. There's plenty of games to redeem us the rest of the year, so that's what we're gonna do. But yeah, I just found this interview interesting. I wanted to bring it to y'all.
It is interesting, brother.
You know,
it is interesting that the main guy for the game says that we are expecting way too much from them. That is stupid. You can't say that because the players will resent you because of that. So, brother, you are not doing your job if you say to us that it is our fault, basically. So, yes, so, brother, great video as always, my dude. I didn't know about this. Thank you very much, brother. Guys, Hawg, great guy. I love his videos. This was a cool video, and it made us talk about cool shit. I am still hopeful for the future of the game, but we have to agree that the game is not in a good state right now, and we don't know if second season will bring it up to standards. It will be a step in the right direction, but maybe not enough. We will have to wait and see. Guys, thanks for being here. Subscribe to the channel, like the video, do all that cool stuff. I love videos about Diablo 4, and I am excited to love videos about other stuff. Path of Exile, World of Warcraft. I even upload videos about Marvel Snap, TV series that I watch, stuff, just cool stuff in here, brother. Subscribe to the channel, help me out. Thanks for being here. You guys are fucking awesome. God bless ya. And remember, as the great Bill Hicks said, this is just a ride.